Hello guys, it's Chris, and today we are going to be doing a react to a YouTube video actually from Jordan Underwood. I have seen her in TikTok and in compilations and stuff. She's a fat activist. Don't mind if you hear the dog, he's being a little crab. And she's a controversial one. She's made a real splash with her views and some of her recent photo shoots and stuff. She does have some medical conditions. She admits to having mental health issues, and she does have some serious medical conditions. And she is young. I do think she's in her late 20s, maybe 30. It's tough. It's tough to see because when Jordan was younger, she valued trying to be healthy and losing weight and stuff like that. She comes from a family that's fairly fit, so I'm sure it was really hard for her to grow up being overweight. But she used to try, and this is just like a good example of how toxic the fat acceptance movement is, and this is what it does to people. I feel like if she never got sucked into it, her conditions may not have gotten as bad. She would have not have gotten as big, and she wouldn't have this big of a hill to climb at this point. I agree with some of the things she says, and I disagree with a lot of it. But she is doing like a series dealing with her having to get treatment and stuff for her lipedema. I do believe she has lipedema and lymphedema at this point, which in the medical industry is called lipolymphedema. But I know she definitely has a severe case of lipedema. And this is what we're going to be going over. I haven't watched this series. I did see another reaction channel cover one of her last vlogs where she talked about the specialist recommending keto, and she was crying over it and stuff. So we are going to get into it. Any of you who are returning, thank you so much for coming back and hanging out with me. I love you guys. And if you're new, welcome. And I hope you like the channel and like me. I am not for everybody. I tend to be a little bit tough love, but I like to try to teach people and give advice or tips, or at least give some information. I have a medical background and stuff, so I come at my reacts from a point of view of entertainment and humor and snark, but also I try to provide like legit medical facts and dietary nutritional facts and information and help. So I don't fully see that in the reaction community to the FAs, Girl World, stuff like that. I see regular reactors, people who are in the fitness community. And so I think that the medical aspect of my training and stuff like that is something that I can offer. So let's get into this. And that being said, I know some people's going to come and say, oh, Jordan identifies as a he, they. Well, Jordan is a woman. I don't do the pronoun thing. I don't mean disrespect. I can't possibly look up and remember every fake pronoun that everybody I respond to and react to goes by. I call people by what I know they are biologically, or what they present as. And Jordan, to me, presents very much female when we are talking about an almost exclusively female-related medical issue. So that's why I just say she. And I'm sorry if you don't like it. Like I said, I don't mean disrespect. People who believe in that stuff have the right to believe in that. I have my right to not believe in going along with that. I'm not against trans people or LGBT stuff. I'm part of that community. It's not at all. It's just easier for me to I, from a medical standpoint, recognize there are two genders or sexes, and that's what I use. So if that really bugs you, I am very sorry, but I do not mean things disrespectfully. Let's get into this and let's see what Jordan says. I have a lot of experience with a low-carb keto diet. I used it to help my PCOS many years ago and get very fit and healthy, and it allowed me to get pregnant with my son. I was very low-carb while I was pregnant with him. He turned out great. And now I am like dealing with some health issues and stuff. I need to lose some weight again, and I am working on getting back towards a low carb keto, possibly carnivore diet that works with me and with my age and my current medical issues and stuff like that. So, and I vlog that and talk about that here on the channel. So if you want to check that out, I do have a playlist. Let's see what Jordan has to say. And like I said, she is very, I'll hold on. I'll just get into the story.
Weight is not an indicator of health, and health is not an indicator of value.
Weight can definitely be an indicator of health, though, people. Like, we have to get over this delusion. It can be. Not always, but you can look at somebody like Amberlynn Reed or Eugenia Cooney and stuff and know by looking at them that they have unhealthy habits and that they are not healthy and they have health issues. Health is not an indicator of value. I'm not saying that healthy people are more valuable than unhealthy people. No, that's not the case. A lot of people have a lot of health conditions that you just can't control. That, that's how it is. But when it comes to something like your weight and everything, something you can control, it doesn't make you less of a person and less deserving of value. But if you have a chance and ability to try to control your health, you should, no matter what your health status. Everybody should try to do what they can to keep themselves as healthy as possible. So yeah.
Now we're going to recap what happened this week. So I started keto.
Now, I am going to say, Jordan is of the mindset with a lot of the FAs that the weight is completely genetic and not controllable, and food has no effect on your weight or your health or anything like that. There's no good foods, there's no bad foods. But people, this is just not true. It does have most of the effect on your size and your health is what you put into your body and your food. And different foods have different nutritional values, different depending on what the food is, the different chemicals and have effects on your body with all the crap we put in food these days. Carbohydrates affect your body a certain way, proteins affected a certain way, fats affected a certain way, and this has a big effect on every cell of your body. Your body and your cells are made up of what you put into your body. So this is absolutely not true that food is not important. It is 99% important as far as what you put in your body, as far as how you feel, your overall health, and your body size. I am going to give Jordan a lot of credit here. I skimmed through this real quick, and that's why I decided to react to this. She was like one of the last people I would expect to have actually even fathomed attempting a dietary change to deal with her lipedema, because she's so of the FA mindset. And when I heard her say that she was trying it, I was like, okay, great. Low carb keto. That's my wheelhouse. I know that diet. I've coached people on that diet. I've done a lot of other ones too, but it's like my specialty kind of, and it's great for so many things. And I was shocked that she was actually willing to try it, because there are other FAs that would absolutely have just fired the doctor, never gone back, when she was crying about it, because she has a history of struggling with diets and stuff. So I understand that. I have a history of different dieting and stuff like that too. And it can be really damaging your relationship with food, but we still have to keep open-minded about what's best for us. So I am completely shocked, and I am very proud of her for saying, okay, no matter what fat acceptance believes and this anti-diet bullcrap and everything, my condition is bad. I really want to help myself, and I'm going to give this a try. They all need to have this mindset, and I'm very, very proud of her. And I actually have something pulled up that I'm going to show you guys here at some point in the video that's directly related to the effects of a ketogenic diet or a lower carb diet on specifically lipedema, and there is pictures to go with it. It's a study. It's a PubMed study.
Realized I really messed it up. Not really. I messed it up.
if you mess it up a little, just get back on the horse. The next meal, the next day, whatever. Just, and that's like my issue right now. And it's hard. Carbohydrates, no matter where they're from, guys, whether they're from whole organic quinoa or a Snickers bar, carbohydrates turn to sugar in your body. They turn to glucose, they turn to sugar, and they have the same effect on your body. They are inflammatory. Some people's bodies handle it better. Some people's bodies kind of get out of that inflammatory state faster than others. But they all turn to sugar in your body, and it's very inflammatory, and they spike your blood sugar, which in turn spikes your insulin. And insulin is called the fat storage hormone for a reason. We don't want these chronically high insulin levels, and most people have them because we are always eating or drinking something with high amounts of carbohydrates and or sugar. So, but if you mess it up, girl, just, you're learning, you're trying, just, I'll give some tips and tricks in this video, and just, keep going. And I give her credit. Not only is she admitting to doing this and giving it a fair shot, but she's admitting to her mistakes and what she's doing. I'm very, very proud of Jordan for this, and I really hope that she sticks to it and figures it out and sees some results, because her legs legit look so painful, and they are going to cause a lot of health problems. She already has bad mobility issues, and she's young, and that's horrible.
A little bit, because I was still drinking lattes without sugar, because I never put sugar in latte, but I was still using like 2% milk, and apparently like milk has a ton of sugar in it,
Milk has a lot of sugar in it, the lactose and sugars and all that, milk sugars. And here is like a fact, if you guys don't know it, fats are not bad for you. Fat is not bad for you. Not even saturated fat, guys. It's not. You can look up, there's a lot of stuff just right here on YouTube that talks about that and the studies of that. We were steered wrong about fat. Cholesterol is not bad. Look up Dr. Ken Berry, look up Dr. Paul Mason, look up Dr. Robert Sivas, the diet doctor, Vinnie Tortor. I mean, there's just so many people you could look at. Anthony Shafee, that just go over all of this like stuff. Actual doctors, cardiologists, all this stuff. But yeah, milk has a lot of sugar, and the foods that are low fat or no fat, fat free, when they take out fats, they add sugar and like sugars in some form or another, being straight sugar, usually in America high fructose corn syrup, which is the worst. Fructose is the worst sugar for your body out of all the oses. So when something is low fat, they add sugar, and that's why it tends to have more carbs. And it doesn't matter, it has less calories, but it's higher in sugar. So you're better off getting full fat items and just using a little bit less of them, especially if you need to limit carbohydrates, if you have inflammatory issues, things like that. So yeah, I'm glad she looked at this, she learned, and she's adjusting.
I truly had no idea about. That was a little bit of a keto fail, but since then we have course corrected. Now I'm doing espresso with heavy cream.
Perfect. And people are going to go, oh my God, heavy cream, that's going to clog her arteries and she's going to die. No, it actually doesn't. The fat you eat and stuff does not clog your arteries. It doesn't give you heart conditions. There's a lot of cardiologists now coming out that are using high fat, low carbohydrate diets to help people with heart conditions and atherosclerosis, arteriosclerosis, things like that, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, kidney disease, everything, even to mental conditions. They are, and especially autoimmune conditions and stuff. Yeah, it is sugar and carbohydrates that is inflammatory. It is the hydrogenated seed oils that they push on us, which are the soybean, corn, canola, flaxseed, grapeseed, all that. Those are bad for you guys. They are horrible for you. And like I said, fructose is the worst ose for your body. Fructose is not processed exactly the same in your body as glucose is, because it is like treated like alcohol. Your body doesn't have an actual really legitimate way of processing fructose, so it treats it like alcohol in the sense that it can't have it lingering around in your blood for extended periods of time, so it goes to fructose first, and either if you're not using it immediately, it gets immediately tucked away into the fat cells and stored as fat because it can't be free floating around in your blood. So, you know what I mean? It's not good and stuff like that. So have the full fat stuff. And there's this other thing called the Randall cycle, where it's like you either need to be high carb, minimal fats, although fat, you need fat in your body, guys, or a high fat, low carbohydrate diet. Pick one. You can't eat high fat, high carb together because there is this thing called the Randall cycle. It's just not good for your body, and it's like really tricky and kind of in depth to explain. If you look on YouTube, Professor Bart Kay, he is like a scientist type deal, and he explains the Randall cycle very well. And also, if you want to know more about insulin and its effects on the body and hyperinsulinemia, you want to look up Ben Bikman, Bikman. He is a scientist and MD out of Brigham Young University, and he almost studies exclusively insulin and its effects on the body. So just trying to give you some resources here, let you know where I get a lot of my information, and so you can do a lot of research on your own and go, oh my God, you're giving dangerous information. You're telling people to eat fat and stuff. It's going to kill them. No, it's not. But as I've said before, nothing I say is medical advice. I just give what I've seen, what I've heard, what I experience. Always go to a medical professional if I say anything that resonates with you, but there is a lot of information and studies out there that show that the thing we've been told about fat is wrong.
And that's actually like very good for keto because it's high in fat. So that has been a little shift that happened this week. And
honestly, the fats and stuff are very satiating. So you lose weight on keto, not just because you aren't retaining water, you're not having all the inflammation and stuff. Your body can tap into its fat stores because your insulin isn't chronically high, but also it's very satiating, and you do end up just eating less. People that do a proper keto diet, they tend to end up falling into the intermittent fasting category because your hunger is suppressed. You don't get those cravings and those highs and lows, and you just don't eat as much.
I had my follow-up visit with Elizabeth, and we did some lymphatic massage.
I guess Elizabeth is like one of her lipedema specialists that she's seeing right now.
We talked a lot about how to keep the skin safe, because when you have lymphedema, you are at really heightened risk for infection.
Yeah, because you're that's why I don't believe that Amberlynn Reed says her legs are just like big, but they're not like all messed up. They get big, they get swollen, they get like they're ready to burst, and they will actually crack and leak and seep and weep, and it's yucky, you know, and you end up with open wounds, and you are very, very, very prone to infection.
Especially things like cellulitis, where if you get essentially like
yeah, and we know Amber gets it all the time, and so Jordan's absolutely right. That is something you really need to worry about, and cellulitis can actually be really, really dangerous, a big deal, and it can turn fully septic, and it's very painful from what I hear.
Like when your skin opens, you get a cut or a scrape or really anything, and then if it gets infected, like you're fucked. So basically she was like, if that happens and you go to the ER, you have to like be very clear about the situation. I also made an appointment with a dietitian because I am very wary of dieting in general and how
yeah, she is, and that's why I was so shocked when she said she was actually giving this a go, and I give her a lot of credit.
That impacts your mental health and everything, especially for me, someone who has a very extensive history of dieting. That appointment isn't until June 7th, so we will circle back on the dietitian when that comes. I'm very excited to do that because it is a fat positive queer dietitian, and that...
No, that's my only problem, is I think this like fat positive dietitian is not going to be the best for Jordan, and I will link her video below, guys, like I always do, because this person is ultimately going to say, if you want to make these changes, you can, but ultimately you don't need to lose weight, and what you eat is not going to affect your... I just don't think it's good. She needs to see a proper dietitian. And yes, she absolutely needs to lose weight, and she can lose weight. And the little study I'm going to pull up real quick and show you in a little bit here, it is, I mean, it even has photographic evidence. It is shocking that the results. And just because you have lipedema or lymphedema or lipolymphedema, that does not mean that you cannot lose weight and you cannot improve your quality of life, deal with the pain. So I just wish she was seeing a regular dietitian, but it doesn't surprise me that she pretty much went to a Hayes one.
That was really important to me. Going from intuitive eating to keto.
Nobody that's obese, especially morbidly obese, can intuitively eat, guys. I have binge eating issues and stuff. You can't intuitively eat if you have stuff like that. Because anybody who, especially the foods that are made today, they're manufactured to make you want to eat more, to override your satiety signals and induce cravings and want you to keep eating and to not feel full so you eat more. Unless you are eating truly just all whole foods and mostly proteins and fats and moderate to lower healthy whole carbs, you are not going to be able to intuitively eat Doritos and Starbucks and frozen food and restaurant food and fast food. You can't do it.
Has been very rough. I do feel like everyone hates me for being keto.
And you know what? I was thinking about that. The fat acceptance community will straight up eat its own. They will sing your praises and love you and adore you. But the minute you say something they don't like, they will absolutely it's like the equivalent of excommunicating you. You know, they will act like you don't exist. They will chastise you. They will come at you, pitchforks and torches blazing. If you say, I want to lose weight for any reason, they freak. Even if it is to help a health issue, because they will insist losing weight does not help health issues, because weight doesn't affect health issues. And that is bull. It is wrong. It can help, and it usually does to some degree. Eating healthier will help, but if you say I'm going to try to eat healthier, I'm going to go keto or do this, you get like verbally accosted and stuff, because to them a Snickers bar is the same as a broccoli or a steak or anything like that. There's no good foods and bad foods. Hello? Yes, there is. We need to come to reality, people, and what you eat. There are good and bad foods. There just are. I'm not saying to never indulge in your little bad foods or the unhealthier ones from time to time and enjoy yourself. Yeah, sure, go ahead. But for the most part, we need to be focusing on healthy foods. And Jordan can really make a big difference in her condition if she focuses on healthy foods. I haven't really looked at the fat acceptance community. If anybody's, I don't really look at TikTok, see if anybody's chastising her, but I would not be surprised when this really gets out if Jordan is not getting absolute, just annihilated by the fat acceptance community for doing this diet.
No. You do? Does it impact your life?
Yes.
Oh, no, that's definitely true. We did get into a fight about keto. I can't help the circumstances that have been given to me. So I was...
Yeah, keto is prescribed for lipedema and inflammatory conditions, autoimmune stuff like that, because it's not just for the weight loss aspect of it. And this little study I have pulled up shows it. It is one of the most anti-inflammatory diets. Guys, fats, red meat, stuff like that's not inflammatory. It's the carbohydrates, the sugar, and the high fructose corn syrup and the hydrogenated oils that are the most inflammatory thing. Meat is not hard to digest. It's not inflammatory, especially if it's good whole meats, dairy, stuff like that. Now, if you can't tolerate dairy personally, you may not be able to have it, but dairy, meats, just vegetables, stuff like that, it's good for you. And like I said, I just can't believe she's doing this, and that's why it's so recommended for lipedema, because it helps with the inflammation, it helps with the pain, and it helps you just tap into your fat stores. And while I know the actual lipedema fat cannot be physically removed, all of the stuff around it can, and that will at least help with your pain, your quality of life, your movement, and that's why it's probably the leading diet recommended for lipedema and stuff like that.
Utterly unsurprised by this information, but we just got an email that the guy who we were referred to, who specializes in lymphedema out of Stanford, his next available virtual appointment, March 2024. In person.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, yeah, sometimes you're gonna like, I'm gonna skip through that part. To get into a specialist can be like insane.
She's coming.
Appointment is just do. So while this has all been happening, I've also been moving
So much stuff.
I don't know, I might not even be here.
Yeah, she might be going to a center in Germany that like specializes in lipedema and stuff to get treatment. So I'd be curious to see how that works out for her.
I'm just sitting here, relaxing. What's that? Scenes of Sun Island. Do it all right. Scenes of Sun Island. We're part of the scene. What do you think? That's what we said. I tried to. And we picked up groceries because I needed my keto foods at Justice.
But yeah, I don't know. She's like, oh, keto foods. Like, people act like this diet. Okay, if you are a carb addict, yeah, keto is going to be hard at first. But keto food is good. It's not like that low fat Weight Watcher stuff that tastes like cardboard. Fat is tasty and stuff like that. Meats, you can have meat, like any kind of meat you want, even some bacon and sausage if you want. Like, I wouldn't make that the staple of your diet, but you can have eggs cooked anyway, omelets, you can have cheese, all kinds of like non-starchy vegetables. There's so many: broccoli, cauliflower, asparagus, spinach, even have some like, you can even have some onions and tomatoes and green peppers and crap like that. I would stay away mostly from like corn and all the potatoes, definitely. And you can even have some squash sometimes. It's not too bad. But like meats, seafood, shellfish, mushrooms, all the vegetables, cream and stuff like that. You can make great sauces, full fat stuff. Spices, herb, it's so delicious and tasty. So when people say like they even have like egg wraps now to like fill in for tortillas. I know it's not a corn tortilla or a flour tortilla, but you can do that. You can indulge every now and then with a lower carb ice cream, or make like a keto pudding with a sugar-free Jello mix and some heavy cream, or a combo of heavy cream and half. You can put that in the freezer and get like a little bit of a frozen pudding type deal. You can eat sugar-free yogurt, put some stevia in there, some sugar. There's like sugar-free flavoring syrups. Berries, you can have berries. Berries are the best fruits to eat, so you can still have those. It's not all bad. It doesn't taste horrible.
House, so we had to go get groceries because obviously we can't like order out, because ordering out is way too hard.
I give her credit for like saying, okay, I'm going to buy my own food. I'm going to cook my own food. I'm not going to order out. And yeah, have the burger without the bun, guys, or just with one half of the bun if you're working on cutting down. Have big salads with full fat dressings. Use cooking good butters and olive oil and stuff like that. Like, it is delicious. The food is legit delicious. Yeah, it sucks to not have some of the carb stuff, but every now and then indulge, as long as it doesn't kick you off the rails for a week. But for the most part, the food, and then you get, like I said, so satiated that you end up just not even really thinking about that food very much, and then you end up maybe only eating like once, maybe twice a day.
To do most of the time for keto,
and you can have like a lot of snacks that are great. Like, have some bacon cooked to be ready, ground beef, boiled eggs, deviled eggs. You can make soft boiled eggs. They're so delicious. Oh my god, it's so good. You can live on eggs, people. Avocado. Oh my gosh, like do an omelet with some like chicken, or do a chicken bacon turkey, or chicken bacon avocado like omelet and stuff. Oh my god. I could give you so many tips and tricks for keto cooking and keto meals. I love it. You can use pork rinds. I was surprised because I don't really like pork rinds. You can put them in a bag, crush them up, and use them. And you can get big things of them, so cheap, right? And use it as like a breadcrumb to make meatloafs. I take mine and I dip some like chicken tenders in some egg whites or some egg, and then shake them in the pork rinds and put them in the air fryer, and really works like a tempura type breading. Really good. Doesn't taste like pork rind. At that point, it just tastes like a breaded shrimp or chicken or whatever you put them on. It works great as a binder for meatloafs, burgers, stuff like that. There is, oh my goodness, there is so much you could do. So, but I give her credit for cooking her own food, saying, "Oh, I can't do takeout right now because there's carbs hidden." I am pleased.
Just wanted to get froyo, and the froyo place was out of the low carb options.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. She's looking for like you can have lower carb frozen yogurt. You can get sugar-free drinks and stuff like that. Yeah, you can't have smoothies and stuff like that. But you can get the low sugar, sugar-free lattes and coffee and stuff. Like she said, I'm having espresso now with heavy cream, and you can use some stevia, or there's a lot of sugar-free syrups. She's at least trying, which is more than I can ever say for Amber. Like, and a lot of these other people, I give Jordan credit here. She is trying, so that shows me she really wants to try to improve her condition.
That sucks, but I think we're gonna go to Ralph's and get an icy because they have no sugar added ices that have literally very low carbs. So it is not for nothing. It's like very hard to do keto when you have a history of restriction, I think. Thankfully, like just...
You know what? I do have a history of restriction and binging and stuff like that, and I can kind of see where she's coming from. But honestly, I am at my best when I do low carb or keto, because one of the most like triggering foods are usually sweets and carby things, and it controls my hunger to the point, and I'm so satiated to the point where I am more on track eating that way than when I'm like off on my own trying to like wing it.
It's really like has been pushing me to find alternatives so that I don't feel as inclined to restrict, and instead of just being like, oh, I can't get it, so I'm just not going to eat, finding an alternative that is
But she does to some degree need to restrict and lose some weight, and that will help her condition. And the fact that keto is satiating and you do lose weight, that will really help her. Like, I know she's all body positive, but she needs to lose weight. She does, and she can lose 200 pounds easily. I'm not saying that she's less of a person because she's obese. I'm just saying for her health, she does need to, and she can.
Well, at least a little bit. That feels special in a way, and that has been really helpful. My queen. She arrives. Keto, no, there's so much sugar in so many dairy products. It's a lie.
Yeah, like you gotta watch. Soft cheeses tend to have more carbs than hard cheeses, but go for your Parmesans. You can have like the shredded cheese cheddar. I love ricotta. I'm on a kick now where I eat like ground beef with ricotta. It's like my lasagna-less lasagna, I call it. But you can still have it, just watch. And like I said, don't get the low-fat options, get the full-fat options. You can also have some cottage cheese and stuff. Somebody like Jordan, for as big as she is, she wouldn't, ideally she'd be like 20 carbs or 25 carbs of grams of carbs or less, but she could still eat some of that stuff, and compared to her normal diet that she's been eating, she will truly be cutting out a lot of carbohydrates. But yeah, watch the milks and stuff like that, the yogurts and stuff. Just read the labels, guys, and then you get to the point where you know what products have certain amounts of carbs, and then you don't have to look, and you can just breeze through your shopping without having to stop and read the labels. At first you have to do it a little bit, but it pays off.
Why is there like 40 grams of carbs in sugar? Oh, that's not what I meant to say. Why is there 40 grams of carbs of sugar in milk? Like, what?
There is milk. Milk is full of sugar. Yep.
Like, why didn't I know that? We did it. It's kind of bad, but it's okay.
That's the thing is like, and you know, the more you stay away from sweets and you eat low carb, and you're not eating all the sugary stuff and all that, and especially if you're trying to eat mostly whole foods and all the keto processed junk, don't do keto that way. The stuff that you used to think isn't that sweet will suddenly taste very sweet to you. So your taste buds will change. And something like this, okay, yeah, it's not the full sugar version, but it will scratch that itch, right? And you will find substitutes that work best for you and that you like best.
I really can't do like fake sugar. Other than like Diet Coke. Do you know what I'm saying?
The creamsicle one's good.
The creamsicle one has 20 grams of carbs in it.
I bought it.
She's actually counting the grams and stuff, so I give her credit.
You better finish it.
You can have it.
It kind of tastes like it tastes like medicine, cherry medicine.
That frozen ice does look really good, though. It really does. It's so hot and humid here, guys. Like cool, icy stuff. It's great. I've been having a real problem with ice cream lately. It's been a struggle.
I agree. It's the end of the week, so we can do face mask. Oh no.
I wonder if she's going to get into how the fat acceptance community is. That reminds me, I need to do some face masks and get on my skincare, man. I wonder if she's going to talk about any backlash or responses she's getting from the fat acceptance community about doing this diet, because shame on her. See, she's so selfish for wanting to help herself and make her medical condition better and take care of herself. Shame on you, Jordan, for caring about yourself. The fat acceptance community is vicious and diabolical, and it is a death cult.
It looks so scary. These things on our face.
Can you show the camera what you look like?
Insane.
What else did I do this week?
Move.
I did move my stuff into storage, so a month and a half did make me sob, as you saw. But the other Germany place and other lymphatic massage, all these things, and they have a
like there's things like that you can do that helps with your circulation and the fluid retention. That's why, like, Amberlynn Reed's doctor, she went to a lipedema specialist. They told her, one, do the massages, get them, or have her girlfriend learn how to do them, and wrap your legs to keep that pressure, to keep them from swelling and swelling. She doesn't do any of that because it's not cute and sexy and dainty. Well, guess what, Amber? Like, your legs are not cute and dainty and sexy, but it is, like, for legit medical purposes, and she can't do it by herself. They're too big. They're too heavy. She's too big. But it does help, and doing these type of treatments really helps. And I'm really glad that Jordan is at least looking this stuff up and doing it and trying it.
a lot more information and research into lipedema and lymphedema in Germany, which is why I'm planning on getting treatment there as opposed to in the US. I personally don't really trust doctors in the US, especially with an issue that coincides with fatness. And all of the people who do work on lipedema and lymphedema here get their research from Germany. So I don't know. For me, my insurance is not going to cover it either way. So I figure might as well go take a little trip. People do it for plastic surgery all the time. Might as well do it for, you know, non-vanity healthcare reasons.
Yeah.
No shame to people who do go get their hair transplants done in Turkey. I do think it's kind of iconic.
Yeah, you're waiting to hear back from Germany. You're getting into the keto. Like, you're knowing now, like, what you enjoy eating, what you don't like, trying to get into the rhythm.
Yeah, I also...
making sure you eat enough throughout.
Yes, and I just bought the book that was recommended to me, which is this book that talks about... I don't know if it's fatphobic or not, so don't quote me. This is just a book that was recommended to me. So if it's fatphobic, I'll tell you.
She's talking about something with nutrition. They're, like I said, they're getting their pitchforks out.
Read it. But for now, this is the book that's been recommended to me as far as like diets that like stimulate the lymphatic system and are anti-inflammatory. Take it with a...
Because they'll say, oh, there is no such thing as an anti-inflammatory diet. There's no diet that stimulates the lymphatic. Yes, your food is important.
grain of salt. I'm not recommending it as a non-fatphobic resource. I'm recommending it as it has been recommended to me. I did some...
Yeah, and see, like, do you see, like, she has to dance around, like, walk on eggshells and word things and disclaim, like, constantly. Like, that's awful. If you are in a community, they should care about you and love you and totally support you having to do something that they might not necessarily like or want to do if it's going to help you. They should care about the people in their community's overall health and well-being, not just about what you're doing is hurting my feelings, blah, 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 because it ultimately makes them feel bad about their decisions and their health and their looks and their lack of, like, self-control and effort. That's what it is.
Some more research into surgeons in the US. So if I do, after getting complete decongestive therapy, if I do want to pursue a surgical option, I have some ideas about who I would like to take a consult with at least and kind of...
Yeah, they do a lot of, like, the lipedema. They do the liposuction where they have to, like, suck out the fat. Because, like, the lipedema fat isn't normal, like, squishy fat. It actually hardens and can be various sizes from very tiny to quite large, hard, solid lumps. It's, like, weird. The lipedema, it transforms the fat, and so it cannot be physically lost. It has to be removed. And yeah, it's a process, but you can do it.
See,
but if you're not going to lose weight and it's just going to keep coming back and it's going to get worse, there's no point in doing those type of interventions, right?
What their thoughts are, but obviously that's not right now, because first we have to do the lymphedema treatment. Basically, that'll probably be like down the line, but it is something that I did this week. It's difficult, like, having this condition that is so progressive, and knowing that if I were to wait a year, I could possibly gain another 100 pounds of fluid and like not be able to do too much to prevent that. If I were to delay treatment until I saw this person. That's obviously like not an option.
Well, the only way she would be able
mobility
to
issues,
control
as
it
the
is
swelling
with diet and lifestyle changes and the massages and the leg wrapping and the losing weight. Now, okay, I'm going to end hers here. I'm going to pull this up here real quick, guys. And I'll kind of go over it for if you're not looking, but this is a study, and they like did the they wrote this big synopsis of this woman who had lipedema, and they put her on a ketogenic diet. They made it was 25 carbs or less, and they even still let her have like rye bread a little bit as part of the plan, which you not technically keto, but she said 25 grams of carbs or less. And it was a 22-month program. She did it for 22 months, and they followed her, and she checked in and did all that. And they said that like some of the parts of the study are exceptionally important. They said it was great because she lost weight. She lost 41 kilograms or 90 pounds. And there are some key points here, and it helped with pain and range of motion and overall like just health and well-being, because she wasn't in as much pain. She could move around better. She wasn't as miserable. But there's like a couple interesting points here. She was a 32-year-old woman, diagnosed with lipedema type 4 and 5, stage 2 to 3, complaining of widespread pain, particularly in the lower limbs, heaviness, difficulty in making various movements. She only wanted nutritional treatment at that point, and she was said to have lipedema in all the normal places, in her hips, thighs, calves, and even some around her upper arm. And they found small amounts of the tissue actually on her forearms, even though she wasn't necessarily like big. But and they only did a calorie deficit of 200 to 250 calories a day. So it's not like they put this woman on a starvation diet. They minimally changed her calories and changed mostly the makeup of the calories. So it was highly protein focused and fat focused, and then minimal carbs, which was about 4% of her total diet was carbs. So they checked ketosis and stuff like that using strips and everything, finger pricks. But here's like the thing. It says, this is the word that was interesting to me. It says in this particular paragraph above this one chart, it says the results in ponderal terms were striking. The subject lost 41 kilograms with a change of about 20% body fat and maintained a healthy condition. Any side effect that was recorded was only a little bit of difficulty in focusing at day 3 and then return to normal at day 5. Visible changes are apparent, and it can be seen that in addition to important weight loss, because weight loss is important for lipedema, some other points typically affected by lipedema, including arms, thighs, and abdomen, were improved. So not only did she lose weight, Amberlynn, I'm talking to you. I can't lose weight because I have lipedema. This person not only lost weight on her overall body, her abdomen and stuff where she didn't have lipedema, she lost weight where she has lipedema, in the tissues that were not themselves lipedema. So she still lost weight in her legs, she still lost weight in her arms, and if you're not looking, guys, you can always pause it here and look at the picture. But here's a picture of her before. Okay, so you can clearly see the lipedema in her calves, starting at her ankles all the way up through her hips. You can see it on her upper arms and even a little bit on her forearms. Look at the results of the after. Like, you can't say, oh, I can't lose weight if I have lipedema, it's not going to improve. Look at this difference. she looks like she almost doesn't have lipedema. Now, like, it's very minimal. Her arms look like great. Her legs look great. Her abdomen is reduced. I mean, this is an amazing result, guys. And this is just dietary. I mean, look at the difference, especially in her legs and her abdomen too. But like, look at specifically the lipedema areas. Look at that improvement. And that was with nutrition. She did not want to do like surgery, liposuction, anything like that at that point. And now she looks like she doesn't even need to. So it's like, it's amazing. It says here, there was the result was considered secondary to the impact on the lipedema, as you can tell from the body measurements. Her body measurements went down everywhere, including the lipedema areas, quite a bit. It's amazing. It's great. And like I said, she did this without any of the surgical interventions. So I will actually link this study of this woman. It's an NIH study. I will link this in the description. Yeah, so I'm gonna end it here. I just wanted to like let you guys know that there's not there's not a complete loss of hope if you have this illness like lipedema, lymphedema, lipolymphedema. And I was really impressed by Jordan really advocating for herself and actually going about a nutritional change, a dietary change, because I know she's so against it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you've had results on a ketogenic diet for lipedema or any health condition. What are your thoughts on Jordan here? And I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to just give credit where it's due. And while I don't agree with a lot of the stuff she says, I am very, very proud of her for doing this, and I really hope that she sticks with it, and that the diet, along with all the other treatments, I hope she really sees some results. So I will talk to you guys later. I hope you're having a good day. That was a gate falling, don't mind us. I will see you in the next one. Bye.